thanks for tuning in to Too Strong with the Two Strongest Alive. Too Strong is always better than one strong.
We got a good crowd already.
All right, that's a good thing, not a bad thing, right?
Right off the top.
So
That's
we
good.
really appreciate you all for chiming in. We are going to get it in. I saw that your notification popped up too for Instagram. So Downtown Martin Brown is live on Instagram also. Too Strong is the channel that we really want to be on. Too Strong. So those that are on my Just Face It page, I appreciate that. I really do appreciate you chiming in with us. And we are going to take the Too Strong channel and switch it over to the Just Face It. But we're gonna do that next month because I got a couple strikes on there. I got a couple strikes, but that's okay because we're gonna keep it nice and clean, and we're gonna stay on live every day from Monday through Friday, and we starting at 8 p.m. We used to go at 7, but we switched it to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and that's you got to tell me, Marlon, 5 Central. What we
at? 5 Pacific. 7 Central.
Can y'all tell who the smart one is yet?
4 half century millennial.
It must be Marlon. It must be Marlon. Ladies and gentlemen, we really appreciate you coming in, but can you do us a huge favor to help grow the channel? Could you please like, subscribe, share? For those that are on my the Just Face It channel, that is soon going to be Too Strong. So if you can subscribe and hit the like button there too, it'd be great. But in a minute, we're gonna have to leave the Just Face It and go to. Can you put the link up, Marlon?
Yeah, I can.
And go to the Too Strong. So if you can go from Just Face It to Too Strong, that'd be really great because this is going to be an amazing show, and we have more amazing shows coming up. Believe me when I tell you, more amazing shows coming up, and we really appreciate all that have supported us and continue to do so. We are a team, and we're going to make it right because Too Strong is always better than one strong. Yeah, so there's the link, everybody. Please click it and go to the Too Strong YouTube channel and subscribe there. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers, and we're pretty far from that right now, but we on our way. And thanks for tuning in. Yes. Well, James, I just happened to see your comment at the bottom. Is he a Satanist? So it depends on how you define a Satanist. I mean, he worked for Satan. He definitely do that. And we're gonna show you and break it down. We're gonna bring all that to the light because these things got to be exposed because it's damaging. You know what I'm saying? It's really damaging and it's bad. So yeah, I see that we still on Just Face It. Can you please go to Too Strong? The link is in the description right there. So please go over there because we're gonna have to cut the Just Face It channel. I hate to do it, but we got to because I don't want to take any more chances of getting strikes. Marlon keep telling me it's okay, but Marlon is the strike.
What do I know? I get strike all the time. So I don't.
You can't listen. You cannot listen to a criminal that always get caught.
I am not the litmus test for any of this. All right.
You want me to go rob a bank with you and you've been caught 3 times. I'm not doing it, man.
And I only robbed the bank twice and I got caught 3 times. That's how bad it is.
No, this time I'm telling you, this time I know what I'm doing. I got it. We in there, dog. Just let's go. No.
No. I said I'm guaranteed we're getting in.
Yeah, we're gonna get in there, but
I can't guarantee we're getting out though.
We might not get out. So let me see if I can remove this. I hope it worked. There it is. Let's see. Okay. So I removed it. It's the count list went way down. But we getting there. We still good. But anyway, like, share the video. So Tyler Perry, why did we choose to speak about Tyler Perry? Why are we attacking the blacks? Why are we always attacking the blacks? The blacks. Speaking of the blacks, we got something coming up. We black, but we'll talk about it later. The black, because the blacks are the most damaging to our communities because the blacks have the most influence outside of the sneaky low-key influence, and that's the mainstream media. But they all work hand in hand when it all comes down to it. So if we can get exposure to Tyler Perry and what he's doing and get people to really understand, I think that we can slowly but surely make this world a better place, and especially in the black communities, because we need that. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, we all need to know what he's doing and why, and we're going to discuss that. And we also want you all to join in on the discussion. And if we get enough people, we may even take calls. I mean, we got the 1-800 number, but sometimes people don't have to use it, and that's okay. Thanks for supporting. Thank you. We really appreciate it. Melissa, Deborah, Lynn, everybody. Thanks a lot. So Marlon, break him down real quick for me, man. Break down your
snap. They work. Tyler Perry is a black director in Hollywood.
I'm about to mute. I'm about to mute, Marlon. I'm telling y'all right now. This dude got to grow up.
He has great influence over the black community.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to give you my take on Tyler. Okay. I think he has done some worldly good, but he's done a lot of spiritual harm. That's how I'll phrase it. He has the viewpoint of Oprah, which is a spirituality thing under the guise of God, but it ain't really about Christianity. It's about how good you are and what good you can do. And once you're that good, then that's your path to heaven kind of thing. And then he has the and then you got this other side of him that he used to get where he is. And while he did that, he influenced a lot of young black men in the negative. Okay, so nobody knew much about Tyler Perry until Madea. And when Madea showed up, that was a big. When I first saw him, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was funny. But then my mind started thinking, why do we need to get men in a dress to get people to think that it's sellable, relatable, or even funny? But then I also watched the rest of the sitcoms, and men were either portrayed as dumb, slow, unimportant, violent, or gay. There was never any strong man characters, and when they did, they removed them for the word called toxic masculinity, right?
Yep.
And Tyler played right into their hands. I think willingly, because money was at stake.
Absolutely.
So that's what I think. I'll dig in more later, but that's my surface.
I think that I'm gonna just dig right in and I'm gonna just say this flat out. I think Tyler Perry's a piece of shit. All right.
Oh no, let's close this down.
Tyler Perry's a piece of shit. But everything that he did, and mainly to the black community, was done intentional. It was very intentional. This was not nothing that it wasn't just about money with him. It was very intentional. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that it goes deeper, a whole lot deeper than what we even know, because this didn't just happen out of nowhere like it's always perceived to be. You know, you got these people that just blow up and they say, oh man, he just blew up out of nowhere. Blowing up out of nowhere don't really happen. I bet you there's only a very, very few cases of that. And Tyler, he used women, black women in particular. He used black women and degraded them to grow his success. And he knew that he could do that because blacks, we've talked about this before, we are the most emotional people that you could find on God's green earth. And we like to laugh. We love laughing. We are some laughing people, and that's good. That's good for the soul. I told a lady today, I was leaving the doctor's office. I told her, hey, laugh. Make sure you go home and laugh. Just laugh. You know what I'm saying? And that's a good thing. But he used that to get in the door. And I remember watching it, and like Marlon, I thought it was funny at first. I never forget, I was with my at my mom's house when it was on. She was telling me, "Oh, you gotta check him out. This dude, he's a Christian. He doing God's work, and the good Lord has done just blessed the man so good with the talent. He was homeless. You got to check him out. God is good. He's a witness that God is good." And so I looked at him and I, thought it was funny and all that. Then I, like Merlin again, I was looking at, after a while, I'm like, wait a minute. I went back to my mom. I said, Mama, you think that's funny? That shit ain't funny. I said, because he is degraded. He's talking about you right in your face. Even though, I'm going to put my head down into this, y'all. I'm going to tuck my tail. Even though the stuff he be saying be true, though. but he's talking about you right in your face, and he's making a joke and a mockery of it, and he's normalizing this behavior. Um, you know, listen, there is something wrong with a man putting on a dress. I don't care.
What if he's Scottish?
There is something wrong with a man
What
putting
about a
on a dress.
kilt?
There is something wrong with the man. Listen, so
What
here,
if it's a cloak that gets all the way down to your legs? Come on, man.
well, okay, here's my answer. I'm not Scottish. I'm not none of that stuff. I'm not. We ain't talking about them.
Look, I'm supposed to give you the opposite, okay? So you can, flesh out your statement.
Well, here's the thing. You got to remember this, that one thing always lead to another. You know what I'm saying? One thing always lead to another. And this thing didn't just start. This started a long time ago, years ago. You know what I'm saying? And now that we can see where it's getting us, I think that we can open our eyes a little bit more. And I hope we can, because like I said, it's all fun and games and funny at first, but then when you get down to the core of it, it's nothing funny about this. You know what I'm saying? This is ridiculous, because they running our people. And then do you realize how slowly but surely people have, well, society or whoever, the devil, have convinced us that this is normal and it's okay, and we should have rights to be who we want to be. And you do have a right to be who you want to be, and I have a right to speak on it. I have a right to expose you, because you're ruining our peoples. Got our little boys running around here thinking it's okay to be a girl, sneaking and teaching this stuff in the schools and telling the kids, don't tell mommy and daddy. It's crazy. I had a situation, and I was so heated about it. I had to call somebody, so I called Merlin, and Merlin gave me some good advice, and I did it how he told me. But it turned out that everything was a whole lot smoother than what I thought. And I don't know if I told you this, Merlin, but guess what the teacher told my daughter after I got off the phone with her? She said, baby, it's okay for you to tell your mommy and daddy anything that goes on in this classroom, and don't care who get mad and who don't. But for the record, I will never get mad at you for that. These are the type of teachers that we need teaching in our schools now, because when you willing to hide or tell a kid, don't tell your mama, that is wrong on multiple degrees, no matter what. Like, that's crazy. Ho, 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 Corey. Merry Christmas, Diane Knight. Merry Christmas.
I want to die in the day. I don't want to die in night.
Die in the day. Laying up. He's probably
so,
go ahead.
You said something.
Okay.
That he is the kind of guy that you say he's a piece of work, right? Something else crossed my mind when you said that, of not just the cross-dressing, but how he, and someone else said in the thing too, is you know how rap songs portray black young men thugs, right?
Yeah.
Tyler went after the remainder. He went after the old, he went after the middle age, and then in his movie, so he went for single moms, simping black men, and very cantankerous black women. And that's how he portrayed his characters. Like, most of the men would come around the black woman, get berated, feel like crap, come back to her, simp up, marriage fixed. When I look at it, he not only sissified the men in the outfit of a dress, he sissified them in the mindset of how they function around a woman. He's a feminist.
Yeah, big time. Antoinette Ferguson. I'm gonna read this and I'm gonna make my small comments. And I'll let Marlon finish. He's a human being. Money doesn't change anything. Well, money does change things. Money changes a lot. He's a human being. Money doesn't
change plenty for me if I get some.
Yeah, it changes a lot. Trust me. That's why people always want it so bad, because it do change things. Now, how you decide to use it is up to you, but it changes things. And as people, we choose how we want to be or become. Absolutely. Nobody said you didn't. He didn't make anyone do whatever they choose. Never said he did. Sorry, I don't see why he can't be who he wants to be. He can. I didn't. Nobody said that. I don't get it. But
let me ask a question then of Antoinette. Does that mean that if I am an abuser and a mental one, not a physical one, and I choose to be dominant over you, because I can choose to be what I want to be, and I don't tell you physically to do something or verbally to tell you something, I tell you the opposite, but in a berating way, you don't have to do it, but because of how I put it on you, you kind of have to. Does that make what I'm doing okay? It's a simple question. Does that make what I'm doing okay?
And it's the influence. The influence. You don't
Well,
see.
forget the influence, right? Because I can do what I want. That's
Right,
the statement here. So if I can do what I want and be what I want to be, and nobody else has to do what I tell them to do, I want to know how you explain verbal and mental abuse.
Because you can do what you want to do.
Yeah, you can ignore me.
Yeah. And what did the money? I don't know what was the money part. Money changes.
Well, I had said in the initial thing that he made his money off of the sissifying of black men because he made Madea, and Madea is where he made his money.
Yeah, he did. That's true, right. Yeah.
If you think for a minute that seeing that on TV doesn't affect your psyche, then you don't know how commercials work.
Right.
I may not need the thing at all, but as soon as I see the commercial, I'm like, I want it. TikTok made me buy it.
Yeah, it works. Advertisement work, marketing work, it works. And that's what he's doing. He's promoting this stuff. Promotion work. That's why it's a name for it. It's called promotion. And people get paid millions of dollars to promote things. And this is what's happening. So when you have a whole society, and it sounds, and no disrespect to Antoinette Ferguson, but it sounds like you have fell into the trap of thinking that this is okay. And that is the problem. We got too many people thinking that it's okay. It's all right. What's wrong with that? Chill out, relax.
He can be who he wants to be.
He can be who we want to be. And this is listen, we should not be who we want to be. We should want to be who God wants us to be. Now, if you coming from a different moral standpoint, I get it, I understand. But even without the God thing in it, why would you want anybody with this much influence influencing you or your children or anybody you love? And from a spiritual standpoint, you're going to get them sent straight to hell behind this mess. And look what's happened to our society because of it. Regardless to however you want to look at it, regardless to how everybody want to chalk it up, we are in this situation. And one of the biggest problems that we're having in the black, the white, the Hispanic, all this whole entire country is homosexuality. And then you got these oversensitive female type homosexuals getting in office, making decisions for us, and ruining this country. And it needs to stop.
And that word, Diane, that word is key. Okay. We talk about it all the time. We're not there. This is how they get away with it. They're not forcing you to do anything, which allows them the grace to do whatever they want and put out whatever they want. Because in essence, they're not forcing you to do it, but they know what to do to psychologically make you think you want to. And unless you're mentally strong enough to go past it and not do it, you will fall into the trap. Like, take for instance, why is that most people, when they go to the gym, want something upbeat in their ears?
Uh-oh.
You gonna tell me that doesn't influence the way you behave? You're gonna have some upbeat music and it gets your body, right? That's your gym jam. You're getting ready to pump up yourself and get ready to, it'll help you work out, motivate. It's not making you, but that feeling does something psychologically. You seek it out.
And I got another question for you too. Why do you think you were inspired to come on this post in defending? Silence.
Now, if you like Tyler Perry, more power to you. You could like Tyler Perry because, like you said, you are free to do whatever you want to do. Ain't nobody stopping you.
Yeah.
Except your conscience. But What we are telling you about this man is factually proven out.
Yeah.
A male don't belong in a dress. That's one. And a man should not be in the kind of position that he puts them in all, and I mean every last one of his movies.
Every single
It
one.
don't portray a man. I'm sorry.
It's promoting, because do you think that he have to do that in order for him to make money? The answer is no, because he's a talented writer. Spring made a good point. Look, I was a fan of his movies, but I would usually think of movies as fiction. Okay, I would usually, that's the key word she used, ladies and gentlemen, think of movies as fiction. All right, now here come the key part. But always just after the but, it's like, okay, but I've come to realize that there are agendas behind movies, music, and media. So once we realize that, we shout correct our behavior. And if we don't correct our behavior, then we steady allowing ourselves to be dug down a hole that we didn't realize was going down. It's the warm water effect, y'all. I'm telling you, this is, I mean, listen, if this keep going on, what's going to happen is there's going to be no more, everybody gonna just run out of people. Because everybody gonna just be running around here, homosexuals and gay and acting like women. And no offense to our women, because I love me some women. I love my wife. I love my daughters. I love my mother. I love women. But we cannot be running around here as men acting like women, because that's
your role. It ain't
that's your role. So don't try to give up your role. Because see, what's happening is, and Merlin had a good breakdown of this before on another show. You got the women are taking on the man role. And so there is no man role anymore. It's running out because the women are taking them. They acting like men, bounced around like men, fighting like men, talking like men, calling each other bro. I mean, this is bad. You know what I'm saying? But we don't see nothing wrong with this. And if you think about this, I don't know how old you are, but if you go back 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago, this stuff was not acceptable. The stuff that's going on now was not acceptable. That means that we have been slowly warmed up to this stuff, and now it has become normalized to a lot of people. I don't want to say most, because I haven't checked into that, but it's been normalized into a lot of people, enough to make a huge influence. And this is what we need to stop. And this is why we speak on these things. Not that we're trying to jump on your head or not, but we really need to speak on these things and talk about them. But one thing that we also have to do too is, whenever you take a group of brothers like Merlin and myself, we are speaking out against this stuff, and we're speaking out about this stuff in efforts to bring forth a better place to be, a better world to live in, a better community to live in, to better us, to better our people, to better everybody around us. And then you have people coming on saying, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't do that, because he has a right to be whatever he want to be, so we shouldn't speak on it. So if that's the case, and you truly believe that, then you shouldn't speak on what we're speaking on.
Because we have the right to think that what we think.
Right? So what makes a person passionate enough to jump on a post that they completely disagree with and bash, is because you are subconsciously driven to push Satan's agenda.
Facts.
And you don't realize it. Because there are plenty of things that you could be watching that you do like, and that you do enjoy, and that you do have fun with, but you choose not to pick those things because you choose to do this. And again, I'm not trying to jump you. I'm just keeping it real. Let me see. I haven't failed into any traps, and I'm not cool with all of the advertisement towards our young black youth, but I'm not judging or defining the bullshit. The BS. I'm tired of seeing dudes and girls sagging, but what I can do to stop it, he's one in a trillion. I think what you're trying to say is there's bigger fish to fry. Okay,
so he a big fish.
But he's a big fish. He's a big fish with a big influence. He's a big fish with a huge influence. He's influenced a lot of people. And I feel you though. I feel what you're saying. And I'm glad you kind of see what we're saying too. But listen, it's real. You know what I'm saying? I'm not judging or defining the BS. I'm tired of seeing dudes, girl. Yeah. So you saying there's bigger fights to fight. But listen, where do you think this stuff came from? This stuff came from people with influence like Tyler Perry. Now, the sagging probably didn't come from him, but that came from somewhere. All the stuff that's going on in our communities, this stuff is coming from somewhere. Why do you think that our children, you go to any of our black communities or go to a black school, a majority black school, to most of them, right? And you can say, okay, what you want to be. Do you know in every school you got hundreds of people that want to be rappers and rapping about the same old stuff that we're talking about and promoting this stuff? So there is a big influence on our people, and we need to realize that. And that's why we like having to discuss. That's why we really appreciate you coming in too, even though we disagree. We appreciate you coming in and expressing yourself, because we need to have these discussions in order to get better. But we just actually have an open mind, as we will too, so that we can discuss these things and be productive.
So let me touch on something here, okay? You get influenced based on the things that are already affecting you outside of external things. Okay? Like, say you get up one morning and you feel depressed. For whatever reason, you're in a funk. Then a song will play that relates to the funk, and you drop deeper into the funk. Then somebody comes and delivers bad news, and you drop even deeper into the funk. Mind you, you didn't decide this, but it influences you because you're already there. You're in the inner city. Momo down the street peddles guns. You go into school and you're hearing songs about making money about peddling guns. You know Momo makes money. You have a problem at home that you need money. They're not telling you to go peddle guns. But the situation you're in, and the mindset you're already at, is going to get you to choose because you're in a situation already. If you don't have another influence telling you, no, that's not the way to do it, you're going to fall into it. That's the influence. If you're a husband and your wife's cantankerous and she watches Tyler Perry movies all the time, and he emphasizes that that's okay to be because that's how black women are, you're muted. Then you're going to end up with a more cantankerous black woman, and you're going to end up being more simpy.
Cantankerous. You got to tell us what that means. Me.
Cranky, bitchy,
okay,
always complaining, never smiling,
okay,
always pissy, annoying, aggravating. You don't want to cook. You don't want to clean. You know.
God.
The man has to do everything for you. And when he don't do nothing, he crappy, he just worthless, and you dog him all the time. That cantankerous.
And it add up. So Antoinette says, I never said I disagree, but this shit ain't gonna stop. Okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Mary. Go ahead.
I don't know if you can't, but okay. If we took that approach about everything, nothing will change. No. How you expect anything to change if you say it ain't gonna stop? Like I can't. Okay. I'm trying not to be upset about the statement. I'll tell you why it upset me. I teach voice. All right. I teach voice lessons. And when they come to me, they always come with this. I can't. And as soon as they open their mouth and said, well, I can't do that, I'll shut them up right away. I said, and if you keep saying that, you never will. Because the instant you work yourself into that corner of saying, I can't, you won't, because you won't even try.
That's right.
When you say it ain't going to stop, you already admitting to the rest of the world that you're not trying anymore. Why try? Because it ain't going to stop. That's not a reason to not do something.
Yeah, I got a different something different to say to you about that. So let's say that you're right, for argument's sake, that it's not gonna stop, which more than likely it's not. More than likely it's not. But if I got a saying that you might not be able to stop anything, but you stop everything, but you can minimize anything. It can be minimized, and if it can be minimized, then is worth doing, because we can minimize it to a huge degree. And let's not say, and now on the other note, I do agree with Martin, let's not say we can't, because we can. It's like saying God can't. It's the same thing you just said, God can't. But we always want to say, when we're in a situation and we want God, we say, oh, God can, you can do anything. Well, then let's not keep saying that we
box him in.
Yeah, we can't put him in that. Now, what we can't do is put him in that box, because it's just not beneficial.
Well, let's say this: we ought not put him in a box. We can put him in a box, but we shouldn't.
We ought not to. Yeah.
100. Now, here's a flip side to this, right? With the whole mindset of things not stopping, I don't see it so much as Okay, I'll give you, I like examples. Corey knows this. It's cold outside. It's wintertime. I cannot stop outside from being cold, right? But you know what I can stop is the cold's influence on me. I can take my scrawny behind inside where it's warm. I have now negated the cold effect on me. The cold is still going on outside, but it ain't affecting me because I have taken myself out of the cold. My job isn't necessarily to make them stop because they're ruled by something else. My job is to help other people realize you don't have to be under that influence. I'm stopping it by its reach. I may not stop it by what it's doing, its act, but I am stopping its influence because I'm removing the people from it. That's our job. I don't intend for that because, first of all, I can't stop evil. I can only remove people from its influence. Evil's going to be there till the world dissolves. It's just going to be. But this can't and it won't. While that might be, you have to change your perspective of it. Stop focusing on stopping the act, expose it so more people see I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
And when I shouldn't be doing it, I remove myself from it. When you remove yourself from it, the less people are exposed. You know what will end up happening? It won't have the kind of reach that it usually has.
And
Just that simple.
I'm sorry. And to elaborate on what he said, it's the same thing. Like it's crazy as this may sound. Imagine yourself being outside and it's cold and you don't know why you cold. Somebody need to say, hey, it's cold because you outside. Go inside that house right there where some heat at, and you'll be just fine. And that's all we trying to do. All we trying to say is go in the house. It's cold out here for the people that don't know. And evidently, a lot of people don't know that it's cold right now. So all we saying is go in the house. As crazy as that may sound, this influence that is over us, a lot of people don't know that it's there. I just got done explaining this to my daughters, and this is what we need to do as fathers. We need to sit our kids down and explain these things to them. So my daughters, both of them, they like to work on their little singing stuff, and they were singing a song. And so me, being the daddy I am, I'm sitting there, and I got some big ears. I got a nice set of ears. I had them, listening. Boom, and I'm listening, right? And I'm listening to the lyrics. I'm like, okay. So I told him, I said, hey, baby, I didn't get mad at him or start hollering and screaming. I told him, come here, come here. We got in my bedroom. Hey, jump in the bed. We're going to have daddy-daughter talk. Sing that song again that y'all was singing. So they started singing it and everything, and it sounded pretty decent. I told them, okay, now sing it slow. And they started listening to the words, and they both was like, I said, now see, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because these influences will get a hold of you because they sound so good. And next thing you know, you're speaking it with your mouth. You're speaking it into existence. And now you run around here twerking. So you got to be careful about what you let come through to get in. You got to put something up. And that's all we saying is we just trying to let the world know and let people know that, hey, listen, this is not a good thing because a lot of people don't realize it. Look at all, listen, he would have never been able to get to the point where he's at if people would have knew what he really was doing. If somebody could have called it out back then and say, hey, stop this dude, stop buying this mess. But you know what was happening? The preachers, the churches was promoting it. They promoted him. Why? Because they just didn't know. Why? Because they're not in tune with God the way they claim they are. I'm not saying all of them. I'm just saying a lot of them. Not all, but most. I'm just telling you what's real. So this is why we have these conversations so people can get a better understanding. And listen, and a lot of times we're not trying to say that we got all the answers. Listen, there's some times where Marlon might have to say, hey, man, did you realize? Or I might have to say, Marlon, man, check this out. We got to talk. We got to communicate. And we cannot have the attitude, well, y'all shouldn't be talking about let it be what it be. No, we need to expose these things because we have to save each other. And that's it. Not save each other as in the way God saves us, but I'm just saying we have to save each other from these dangers. And that's the bottom line.
With regards to the influence side of things, right? We are considered influencers. And our goal is indeed to influence people. Okay, which means we have a very big responsibility, because if we say dumb stuff and people are listening to us and they get influenced in the wrong way, it's kind of coming back on us. Even the Bible says that. Woe to be those who are teachers, because a greater judgment rests on you. Okay. Um, there is a logical reason why you keep certain things from certain people. Like you were mentioning your girls, right?
Right.
You know them more than most, and you will know how quickly they can be influenced by something. I know my kids are influenced by music. I also know my kids are influenced by movies. And the more I watch the cartoons I grew up with, I am amazed I'm not more corrupted.
Yeah.
And I think the reason I'm not is because I had that counterbalance of influence from my mother. Now, and I also didn't get bombarded with a repeated message around me. Because back in my day, the society was not as perverse explicitly as it is now. It
Or
might have been on the underbelly,
Mhm.
but flamboyantly, it was not.
Yeah.
And they had Bugs Bunny cross-dressing, they had Daffy Duck cross-dressing, they had Elmer Fudd cross-dressing, they had a bunch of cartoons cross-dressing. Heck, they had Robin Williams all kinds of people were cross-dressing at the time. Never once did it cross my mind that I could do the same. But it wasn't because of the influence of the movie. It was a stronger influence on my life from my mother. I had been raised differently. I had already been ingrained in right and wrong from a young age. It didn't affect me, even though I saw it, because of the influence my mother and her life teaching had on me. That ain't even halfway around right now for kids. You want to know why video games today versus video games back then? Rambo back in the day didn't affect kids as much because they had a different influence at home. They had a moral grounding that kids today don't have. I'm sorry, they don't have that no more. How many parents do you know like you, Corey? Come on, man, they're not around.
Yeah.
The single motherhood rate is up off the screen. He even made a stinking movie called The Single Moms Club.
And you know what? And they reward them. You know how one of the ways they reward them is they call them strong women.
Yeah.
You strong.
And we talked about that.
Yeah.
And he was part of that whole promotion. A
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
But then again, you can't expect any different because he lives that life too. He a single man, had a kid. He got a baby mama.
Yeah.
And you hear people talking that we used to go to school with gun racks and guns all the time. You know why you could do that? Because your parents told you what the use of it was for.
Yeah.
You didn't get the media telling you you can't, and you can't parent, and you can't. You had home that taught you everything before you stepped out that door.
Yeah.
Now the media is teaching you, music is teaching you, and you
let's
want to
say,
know why things are going bad. And that's why we have to tackle people like this, because now it's a different world.
Yeah. And not only that, I tell people this all the time too, that one of the reasons why we not as in bad shape as we could have been is because at that time the water was still warm. The water was still warm, baby. We was in warm water, you know, and not realize, I'm telling you right now, today the water's hot. But the catch is, the worst part about this is, if we continue down this path, the water is going to get even hotter. And we're not even going to realize we're going to be walking in hot, steaming water until our skin burn off. And we wonder what the hell happened. What was that? Dude, you in hot water, like steaming, like boiling hot water. That's what happened.
Run, Negro, run.
But we don't know it. So the water was still warm, and we didn't understand the what was going on. We just thought it was funny. All we want to do is laugh at everything, not realizing that there's a bigger picture to this. I also know that okay, I agree with Merlin what he said about the presence of the Father, and man, you know, that's a whole nother show, but we need to touch on that one day, because is so strong, man. And I tell people this, all the time too, that I always considered my daddy to be a piece of shit. And if I told you some things about him, you would probably agree. But this is something that I wish that our so-called mentors would have taught us. That's your piece of shit, man. That piece of shit was assigned to you. And to this day, I got things from him and I didn't realize how strong it was until after he died. And that's one of my main pushes for trying to get the kids back involved with their daddies. I'm telling you, some of the stuff I learned from that man is crazy, and it's really even worse because I didn't realize how important, how powerful, and how strong it was, those itty bitty things, until after he died. And I never got the chance to tell him I appreciate that. So don't underestimate the power of the dad. Do not underestimate that, and that goes for the women too. Listen, if a kid come home to mama and he say he want to wear a dress, that may be okay. She might, identify with that or whatever. But the man is gonna be like, oh hell no, that ain't happening. You know what I'm saying? So, and it's important that we do all that we can do to keep our boys masculine. And masculine don't mean going around beating people up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And they did a good job of putting that out there as an option. I want people to understand. You want to know how easy you can be influenced? I'm going to show you how easy it is to get influenced. Repeat a message often enough and put enough things in front of you to make you believe that that was always happening, and you're going to believe it's true.
Absolutely.
Did we ever hear about this nonsense about toxic masculinity when we were growing up?
No.
In fact, we were like, man, I want to be like that. Like, I wanted to be like Rambo. You mean I could get shot in the side, stick gunpowder in it, light that thing on fire, and cauterize my wound and still go fight in a war? Me, sign me up for that. I could do that. Today, a woman could do that. Let's make G.I. Jane.
G.I. Jane.
And they want to normalize the transition from men being men and put women in that role, thereby breaking down the family structure. The reason we have an issue with Tyler Perry is that he had a massive, massive hand in destroying the family structure while saying, oh, I'm a Christian. So he's drawing in the people that already don't like family and trying to get people who are believers to believe that nonsense too. That's why he's dangerous.
Yeah. And then what makes him even more dangerous, because he tricked us. And not me, I'm just saying in general, as a whole, and he's still doing it. He's still up to it. Oh, I got a studio. I bought all this land, all this property, and I'm going to do black movies. See, he tricked y'all with that black power bull. You know what I'm saying?
They scream black power.
Yeah, and whisper, you are oppressed. Now, he oppressed. Black people were oppressed, but he spent, I don't know how many hundreds of millions on his student. I don't know what he's worth, but it's probably worth damn near $1 billion, or at least a few million. You know what I'm saying? A few $100 million. But they trick us with this stuff about what they're going to do for the black community. Oh, he built a school. Him instead of feeding a lot of people. Could you imagine how much more he could do if he chose to? If he really had the heart of gold that he is tricking you into believing that he do? This man is hurt. Tyler Perry is hurt. And he wants to inflict that pain back on the black community because he is mad because of the things that he went through. I'm telling you right now,
I think
if we dug into him,
I think he even said that in an interview with Oprah.
Oh, did he? See? And I didn't know that. Tyler Perry is hurt. And he wants to push that hurt back. Why? Because it feels good. You know, somebody hit you in the jaw. Pow. It feel good to hit them back, don't it? It feel good. You know what I'm saying? So you can't trust hurt people.
Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, hurt people. And I'm not saying that people can't get hurt, but when you have turned to God the way this man claimed he has, You heal from that. You move on. So now I'm not hurt. I don't want to inflict hurt. And that's what the man is going through. But I know that Merlin got a whole handful to say. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna skip down to hammer time.
So understand this. We have a condition going on in the world today that massively affects men. We already have a problem with Black men being targeted by both media, music, and various industries. White men being denigrated, brought down to be thought of as the abuser, as hateful. Overall, it's an attack on men. They will use influencers of all kinds, every spectrum, to achieve that. Tyler Perry managed to do both races by himself. He attacked all men, and he still managed to drag Black men all the way down by putting them at the very bottom of the totem pole. He put us in a female role. He put us as the soft, simpy kind of men. He put us with the angry women, and we were the cause of it. And he has yet to rectify any of his wrongs. But he has thrived off of your sorrow, off of your pain, off of his influence over you. He has profited. We have a massive problem in this country where the media itself is already pushing for the so-called equality. At the same time, they're pushing, saying that men and women are not equal. You can't tell me nothing because you're not a woman while we're equal. A man can't be doing that job because they're not a woman, but we're equal. The goal is not equality. The goal overall is division. And they're winning because people are believing it. And not just division in one blanket area. I'm talking about full division. They take the people that want the division and they put them up against the ones that don't. Bring it into sports. Men can fight women now. And when it does happen, they want to make sure they call the man a woman so that the man. Now, you remember, they want equality. You can't put the man in the ring and call him a man. You got to put the man in the ring and call the man a woman so the man can fight the woman on a woman's playing field, but you're equal. While you beat down on the woman to take her out of her role in her own sport, but you're equal. You put the man in the marriage as the head of the household while beating him down with the woman who's supposed to be under him, calling her strong and independent when it's supposed to be a nucleus, and you want unity. You want men to step up to the plate and be fathers, while at the same time you're telling them they're no good, worthless human beings, and the women should take roles of headship, but you want men to take a role. They have no desire for peace. They have no desire for unity. They want to upset everything that's a natural order that God created and create a man-made order of chaos. Absolute chaos and war. And if you're not bright enough and smart enough, you know what's going to end up happening? You're going to fall for it. And you're going to condone it one day. My only hope for you is that you don't allow that to happen.
And we don't have to allow it to happen. And we don't have to allow it to happen. And that's why we do what we do, and we will continue to do it. And we really appreciate everybody for chiming in. Antoinette, we love you. We appreciate you coming in. We encourage you to come back and give more input. And everybody else, everybody's been coming, please share the videos, go to YouTube and sign up with us on Too Strong Too Strong. Always go there to Too Strong if you can. Just remember, we're here for you. You know what I'm saying? If there's anything that you want to talk about, let us know, and we are open to discuss, as long as it fits in a realm of what we do, and that is uplifting. See, we're about the real Black power, right? We're about that for real. See, all this old fake Black power stuff is an illusion. You know what I'm saying? We really want to build our people and build all people, because we love all people. We love white people. We love Black people. We love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about. And until we learn that, we will be stuck in a place that we in, and we will never advance. So we're going to go ahead and get out of here, but we appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share, and remember, Too Strong is always better than one. Peace. We out of here.